Give us free. Give us free. Give us free.
Your Honor, please instruct the defendant that he cannot disrupt these proceedings with such outbursts.
Give us free.
If we are to have any semblance of order in this,
Give us
Mod Hotep, and welcome my conscious and unconscious family and peeps. This is the African Village Community Podcast, and I am truly your host of the show, JC, aka Afro Black, dropping nothing but the raw and uncut, without any fear, as I use my mic as a spear to chucka you with liberated truth. I am your host and African soldier in the struggle. My purpose and mission for this show is first to inform, enlighten, and engage. And you all know what I mean by engage. I want to engage with all those who claim they know the truth. All truth seekers and conscious family, I welcome you. This show is dedicated to all our ancient ancestors and to all those who have carried the mantle of truth. To every person with the ability to throw off the chains of comfortable habit and unwarranted assumption and move in a new, liberated direction that is guided by truth and observational evidence. No matter where that direction may lead you, my main objective and purpose here is freedom, mind, soul, and spirit. That being said, welcome to the African Village Community Podcast, and much love from our great universal African goddess and mother of all, living here and above. Ashe and Ashe.
In the house.
Real bad guy shit. Living like a villain, never chilling. Heavy influence on your chilling. Yeah, I woke up this morning to a cop with a gun who told me that he looking for a nigga on the run. I thought for a second and I screwed my face and asked some dirty pigs, why the fuck you in my place? They said chill or we kill, this is a warning. Then I told them fuck you, where is the warrant? Then they got the punching and kicking and macing. Then the whole situation went Larry Davis. Thinking about my lady and thinking about my baby. Thinking these motherfucking pigs going crazy. They wanna kill a nigga cause a nigga on this rap shit wanna leave me dead on the mattress. Hampton, I'm a public enemy because I cold rampant. And I don't give a fuck about a party in the Hamptons. And I don't give a fuck about a motherfucking Forbes list. As far as I'm concerned, that's a motherfucking whores list. Motherfucker, my dad was a cop. You don't think I know a dirty ass cop when I see one? Shake down, take down, disrespecting the badge ass bitch.
Hey, this is JC, aka Afro Black, and I am here with you for another delicious Black Sunday, dropping nothing but the raw and uncut. You heard me here on the Black Village Community Podcast, and I'm here with you. You know, I'm gonna turn my revolutionary music. I'm being pinged on my show this Sunday, so if I don't sound all that clear, you know, bear with me. I'm gonna have to do some more research into tightening up my security and possibly also speak with Spreaker, the company who sponsors my show. But I'm not gonna just let this thing just lie here like that and happen, like, pinging my show, pinging my stream, so. But I'm here, I'm black, and I'm back for another day to drop the raw and uncut to the conscious community. And today's podcast, I'm pretty sure all those who have been following this show know today's podcast topic is a continuation titled A Conscious Soldier for His People, You Be the Judge, Part 3. Okay, again, A Conscious Soldier for His People, You Be the Judge, Part 3. And this delicious Black Sunday, I'm going to talk about conscious soldier, revolutionary soldier, rapper, artist, actor, and most of all, activist, Killer Mike. Rapper Killer Mike. We're going to talk about him today. The brother is very outspoken, dropping nothing but the raw and uncut as he goes around, internationally and nationally, mostly nationally here in the States, dealing with what's going on here. But I'm pretty sure if he's outside the States, he's letting people know what's going on out in here as well. Dropping the raw and uncut, telling the conscious truth. And I'm going to share brother Mike with you. I'm going to speak about his bio. I'm going to share some of his music. And this is what we got going on today. So before I go any further, let me change my music to a more comfortable, laid-back pace. You feel me? Here we go. Let me play this here. There we go right there. Yeah. You play some right there. Listen to what the drums say. You feel me? That's what the title of this is here. Sorry, X. So on that note, if my show, if you're hearing static, hearing feedback or anything like that, I'm letting everybody know my show is being pinged by some asshole who don't like what I'm talking about, just like the people on Google don't like what I'm talking about, and they be trying to bar a brother, and they've already put a 2-week hold on my posting on Google communities. I don't talk vulgar, I don't talk belligerent. I'm a conscious brother who speak consciousness and share black consciousness with the public. You feel me? And so I even got Google barring the brother. They barred me for 2 weeks from Google, so I can't post in my own forum. I can't post in my own community. I can't share with the conscious community on Google because some butthole on Google decided to bar me and told me I broke a content guideline. And when I went into Google and read their content guideline, I didn't break anything. And so I even emailed the people at Google, the Google team, through other conscious people, that this is a repetition with those who are over Google communities, that they do things like this. So on that note, I'm going to continue my show with brother Killer Mike. So let me read a little bit of Mike's bio right here, okay? It goes like this. Let me turn this down, the backdrop a little bit more. Okay. His name is Michael. Killer Mike's birth name is Michael Render. Okay, born April 20th, 1975. Better known by his stage name, Killer Mike. He's an American hip hop recording artist. He's the founder of the Grind Time Official Records, which is his record label, which he launched through distribution. Mike made his debut on Snappin' and Trappin' from Outkast's 2000 LP, Stank On Ya. Okay. Later, he appeared on the Grammy-winning song "The Whole World," a single from Outkast's albums as a solo artist. Okay. Yes, and I'm gonna play from his last solo album titled R.A.P., which means from his last 2012 album, which is titled R.A.P. Okay, and R.A.P. being a acronym meaning Rebellious African People. I love it. I love the way their brother put that together. So let me continue with talking about Brother Mike's bio. Okay, Killer Mike was raised with 6 younger sisters in a middle-class family by his father, a lab technician. Also, his father was also a retired police officer. and his mother a performer. As a 9-year-old boy, he heard Rock Box by Run DMC, and since that time he fell in love with the music and knew that he would do in his life. He fell in love with the music he knew he would do in his life. He began composing from an early age and then studied arts at Morehouse College, where he met people from the music entertainment industry. That right there. He graduated from Morehouse. He's an educated brother. He's not just a rapper. He's not the stereotype how they try to they try to put all rappers in this box as a stereotype, uneducated people who's just hollering in the microphone. No, he's an educated brother from a middle-class home. He's an educated brother who know what he's talking about. You feel me? So, let me continue. In December 2008, Mike confirmed he signed to fellow. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. But it's all gravy. I will continue. Okay. My show is being targeted. I'm being heavily pinged right now. Pings at 111, 400, 300 pings, even up to 1,000 pings is hitting my show. So, but let me continue, okay? In December 2008, Mike confirmed he signed to fellow Atlanta-based rapper T.I.'s Grand Hustle Records. In 2012, he released R.A.P. Music, produced entirely by an American rapper, producer LP. In 2013, the two subsequently formed a duo, branding themselves Run the Jewels. That's Killer Mike's group that he put together in 2013. Okay, the two signed to Fool's Gold Records and released their self-titled debut in June of that year. Killer Mike is also known as a social and political activist, focusing on subjects including social equality, police brutality, and systematic racism. In addition to addressing themes of racism and police brutality in his music, he has also delivered several lectures at colleges, universities, written about social. He also has written about social justice or social injustice topics for publications such as Billboard, and been subject of televised and published interviews regarding police misconduct and race relations. He was a visible and vocal supporter of Bernie Sanders during the 2016 presidential campaign. In response to the 2014 shooting of Michael Brown's controversy in Ferguson, Missouri, Killer Mike said, I'm appalled that regular Americans are apathetic. I'm appalled that people choose to use the words thug as a code word for the N-word. I'm appalled at everyday citizens. When will we, as an American continuancy, tell our politicians enough, Mayor, supporting murderous police departments, enough police chiefs having to give excuses for murderous police officers. In an op-ed politician in Billboard magazine, Killer Mike stated that there is no reason that Michael Brown and also Eric Garner are dead today, except bad policing, excessive force, and the hunt and capture I've adopted. I love the brother. Dropping the raw uncut. Conscious Killer Mike, aka his real birth name, Michael Render. You feel me? So that's a brief bio on Killer Mike. So let me also play. I got an audio cast that I want to play. Okay. On Brother Killer Mike. But before I do that, let me talk a little bit about the conscious movement or social activism in hip-hop overall. I mean, because there's a small group of people who have the heart, who have the love, who have the commitment to their people and commitment to truth as American citizens that drops the raw and uncut. Not many of them out there do that. You know, when it comes to the entertainment industry, when it comes to the music industry, whole bunch of house niggas out there. Very few conscious soldiers. You feel me? I mean, prime example, Wu-Tang Clan, they're a very well-known hip-hop group. A lot of people look up to them. A lot of people honor them. A lot of people respect those brothers, They've gone strong in the music industry for over 20 years, not just as a group, but also as solo artists, people like Method Man. You feel me? people like Ghostface Killer. You feel me? But there's one person who's not only a great artist in the Wu-Tang Clan, but also is an actor and was also known to be somewhat of an activist of speaking the truth uncut in his music and even in interviews, and that's RZA. But since then, RZA has sold out and became a house nigga. Just go back and listen to some of his last interviews. I mean, since then, RZA has fallen. He's fallen from being a conscious soldier for the community. But then you got those out there who are like KRS-One, diehard soldiers, of truth. Immortal Technique, diehard soldiers of truth. You feel me? Most Def, diehard soldiers is who they are. You can't, it's just a part of their DNA. You feel me? The house niggas always get weeded out when they start to make a lot of money. You find out who your true conscious soldiers are in the entertainment business by how long it takes them before they give in to the industry. And when they give in to the industry, they bend over for the industry. And when they bend over for the industry, they sucking on the green cotton, a.k.a. the white man's dick. And so, in my opinion, this is what RZA, he's done this. Nas, so far, I can't really call him, some people want to call Nas a conscious soldier. I don't know if I want to put him totally in that category, but I will say this much, is that he does speak the raw and uncut in his music, and somewhat in some interviews, he walks that borderline of keeping his mouth shut and not speaking too much, but at the same time, speaking his mind. You feel me? So I got to give it up for Nas a little bit. You feel me? So let me read from this article right here. It's called, it's titled "Hip Hop: The Voice of the Youth and Social Activism," and this is from the website and the newscast, journalist cast of The Final Call. I don't like to give a lot of promotion to organized religion, but I got to give it up for those brothers at The Final Call. For the most part, they dropped the and cut. And so this is their journalistic perspective on the hip hop industry as far as what they know. Okay, and let me start. As I say, the title of it is "Hip Hop: The Voice of the Youth and Social Activism." When hip hop began in the South Bronx, it was the voice of the voiceless. Hip hop's artists spoke to the despair and pain of urban youth and the poor, who were often without a voice. The rappers themselves were products of that reality, and it was very much conveyed through their lyrics. It was the legendary hip-hop pioneer Chuck D specifically dealing with social and political commentary. This is something that you might not know by looking at many of the controlled news channels, which are much more likely to report a hip-hop artist run in with the law enforcement, than their philanthropic deeds and services. Now, beyond the violence and the materialism that is often associated with hip hop culture, many artists are involved in services-oriented activities, demonstrating their deep connection to their people, their love for hip hop culture, and their desire to improve current social reality. I just talked about life as I see it, said rapper and actor Mos Def. Everybody has to be involved in some way based on the conditions of their country and our communities right now. He added, Mos Def says he draws inspiration from personal experiences and current events when making his songs, as do many other hip-hop artists. Harlem rapper Immortal Technique, searing political commentary flows through his music. His album cover topics range from the plight of migrant field workers to religious hypocrisy, political corruption. What you may not know is that his lyrics intensely is matched by his deep commitment to the cause that he's involved in. In 2006, he was the headliner for Lyrics for Liberty 2, a benefit concert to raise money for an organization provided services to children in Palestine, and is well known for his outspoken activism and participation in benefit concerts to bring attention to the plight of political prisoners, Mumia Abu-Jamal. Boy, see, right now I'm getting over 1545 pings. After releasing his third album titled Third World, Immortal Technique is now headed outside of the United States to Afghanistan in his quest to establish social services for those in need. Let me a little bit about KRS-One. 20 years ago, KRS-One teamed up with many influential hip-hoppers to produce the anthem Self-Destruction. He's now on a mission to have urban youth endorse a hip-hop declaration of peace to quell the violence in cities as he tries to countries gain support for the resurrected Stop the Violence movement. So, and then you got people like legendary lyricist Rakim was one of the first rappers to advocate resistance to the Gulf War back in '91. The song Casualties of War he rapped. You feel me? Rakim said he feels the same way about current conflict in Iraq, calling it an unwinnable war. Okay, so you got brothers out there who are conscious. You got brothers out there. I'm talking about brothers in the entertainment industry, but it's very obvious that the mainstream media don't cover these brothers and sisters who are dropping the raw and cut, who I'm pretty sure who want the community to know what they're doing, who want their community to know that they care about the plight of people, not only overseas, but mostly here in the U.S., because the media capitalizes off of divide and conquer. The media, just like politicians, just like the powers to be, they capitalize off of war. They capitalize off of conflict. You feel me? And so, as I stated, we know a lot of people anybody who knows about KRS-One, he's always been outspoken and very vocal, and saying what he can say whenever he can say it, when he get an opportunity to say it. But this show's subject title is aimed at promoting and talking about the soldier, the conscious soldier, Killer Mike. I want to talk about the other hip hop artists in reference to them. There's a whole host of brothers out there, so I'll be talking all day and doing shows all day if I talk about all the conscious soldiers out there. But I want to talk about my favorite conscious soldiers. You feel me? Last week I talked about David Banner. And so on that note, I got an audio cast I want to play. I got an audio cast to play with Killer Mike, dropping the raw and uncut, and I'll be back to verberate after this. You feel me?
Now, sometimes I get to a point where I feel like it's hard for police officers.
It is.
Because, at the same time, like, we want to go home to our family. They want to go home to their family.
Absolutely.
But they don't know what a person's intentions is. Like, you look at a case that happened in Jersey City where this guy ran into, I don't know if it was a CVS or Walmart. Drugstore. Beat the security guard up, took his gun, waited for the cops to come outside. When the cop came, shot the cop dead in the face, killed him. Boom.
He wanted to kill the cop.
Wanted to kill the cop. So, it gets to a point where it's a sticky situation.
Yeah.
What happened in Ferguson was totally disrespectful. You don't shoot no unarmed man 6 times.
Absolutely.
But, in the case of, let's say, the young man in Staten Island, right? And, it's hard because I don't know. I'm not a cop.
Garner?
Yeah, Eric Garner. I'm not a cop, so I don't know the holds. But I do know if I'm a police officer and I got to take you down, there's no way I can take you down without doing whatever I have to do to take you down. So it becomes a funny system because I can't take you down, Big Mike. I can't just grab you by your hand and say, get on the damn floor. I gotta bite you, grab you, do whatever I gotta do.
Yeah, exactly. Like I sympathize with police officers. Not only was my father a police officer,
and just my dad was a police officer too.
Absolutely, I'm mentored by Andrew Young, who was the mayor of Atlanta at the time, where policemen still had revolvers and they were fighting against semi-automatic weapons because they needed them. It was the middle of the crack era. A good friend of mine, who's a writer, one of the most beloved R&B writers in the world, Jasper Cameron. His father was murdered. His father was a police officer that was killed. So you can imagine how this struck my household. Right. So I understand the need for policing. I understand the need for black cops. People, I don't know about black people need to be cops. I'm like, I prefer to be policed by black cops. What I'm saying, though, is the same way lawyers and judges and politicians are held to a higher standard based on you taking an oath. No one came to your dad and said, I'm going to make you be a cop. No one came to my dad and said, but they had to understand when I become a cop, I have a greater social responsibility to uphold the constitutional rights of these citizens. In enforcing the law, their rights. I'm not saying Four of those small cops could have took Eric Garner down. What I am saying, if it took 15, you deserve the call. He did not have a weapon.
15 was a little too much.
He was not charging you.
Right.
He was actually in retreat mode. There was a wall behind him, and there was a group of people standing around him saying, no, you have the wrong guy. I watched something on YouTube that popped up of a kid who was walking by a Palestinian protest, black kid with a book bag on, right? A mall cop got it wrong, maced him instead of the person that was the aggressor. All right? It was a pro-Israel person that was the aggressor. The Palestinian people were protesting. A black kid just walking by.
Just walking through the mall with his book bag on.
Black kid got maced. Black kid didn't resist. Held the kid's arm. The whole time, the kid is just like, please get this out of my eye. Remain calm. Remain professional. Was the upstanding black young man that I love to see. Right. But it pained me because I saw him, even if it was this marginal, he was being brutalized. There were people around him that obviously weren't from his peer group. Old white lady like, no, you have the wrong person. They still, with mace, walked that child into their possibly giving him an arrest record. Now I'm just saying, if you don't have good common sense, you shouldn't be a policeman on foot patrol. Right. If you don't have great common sense, you shouldn't be a policeman in command. Right. So is it harder for policemen? Absolutely. Are you held at a higher standard? Absolutely. Are you the only civil servant with the power of life and death immediately in your hand? Absolutely. And that requires more responsibility.
There you go. That was Killer Mike dropping the raw and uncut. You hear me? And you know, as you heard him, he's talking about how these cops are not being professional. He's talking about how these cops are not doing their job like they're supposed to do. How they just, mace anybody. So you got to give it up to the brother. You got to give it up to the brother dropping the raw and uncut. You feel me? And I got number love for him. I got number love for the brother. You feel me? Because there's not a whole lot of brothers that'll go out there and tell it like it is. There's not a whole lot of brothers out there who got the heart, who got the soul. You feel me? To drop the raw and uncut. So, on that note, I got number love for the brother, and I got some more. I got more audio casts I want to play. But before I go into more audio casts on Conscious Soldier, Killer Mike. Let me talk about a little bit about his political activism. I just had to. I saw this article. I said, let me share this with the conscious community. So this is taken from an article taken from The Atlantic, a journalistic, newsworthy online blog called The Atlantic, and it's titled "Killer Mike Inflames the Democrats' Intergenerational Struggle." The rapper and Bernie Sanders backer is the latest surrogate to get into hot water, quoting an activist who said, a uterus doesn't qualify you to be president of the United States. Which is true. The brother is dropping the raw and uncut. That is very true what he just said. I mean, it might not, obviously, a lot of people didn't like the statement, but it's still raw and uncut, and it's true. As he says, let me further state. He says, there comes, and I don't get it twisted, I honor my queens, I honor women, you feel me? But we're talking about a position and an office and a job, you feel me? It doesn't matter if it's male or female. It's talking about qualifications. So you, just like a man having a penis does not qualify him to be president. It's his intellect, his knowledge, his education, and the know-how. So let me continue on with this article. It says, there came a time in every campaign when a surrogate causes a headache for a candidate. That's no less true when the surrogate is a beloved MC. Killer Mike, the rapper who has been one of Bernie Sanders' most high-profile backers, was speaking at Morehouse College in his hometown of Atlanta Tuesday. His remarks were the first reported as this presumably a swipe at Hillary Clinton. And these were his remarks, okay? A uterus doesn't qualify you to be president of the United States. If that were the full comment, there would be no question that it was a outrageous, sexist remark. But that's actually only a part of what he said. Here's the rest of what he said. When people tell us, hold on, wait a while, And that's what the other Democrat is telling you. Hold on, Black Lives Matter. Just wait a while. Hold on, young people in this country. Just wait a while. And then she get good. She have your own mama come to you. Your mama sit down and say, "Well, you're a woman." But I talked to Jane Elliott a few weeks ago, and Jane said, "Michael, a uterus doesn't qualify you to be president of the United States. You have to have policies that is reflective of social justice." And I got that what he said was so true. That was in quote by Killer Mike. Now, as the article goes on, it says the backlash to Killer Mike's comment was quick, with many people accusing him of sexism. It has continued into Tuesday with comments from groups like the NARAL Pro-Choice America, which has endorsed Clinton. It also brought new scrutiny for Killer Mike's lyrics. He fired back, and this is what Killer Mike said. Killer Mike says, "So women are being told not to vote Hillary is a sex betrayal because another progressive woman says something disagreeing. I'm sexist." Then he says, "Laugh my ass off." So obviously Killer Mike don't agree with him. I don't agree with him calling him a sexist. I don't call it a sexist comment. That's the first thing that women or feminist women, or political feminist women in particular, want to holler out when somebody speak their mind and speak their thoughts. The first thing they want to say is that you're making a sexist statement. They did the same thing to David Banner as well. And these brothers are far from sexist. They just speak in their political mind. Okay, but that's that article. The article goes on, but I don't think I want to go any further. But I agree with Killer Mike, his statement. Anybody, most black folks, not all black folks, but I personally believe, and I don't know most black, so I can't, that I know that's a stretch by saying most black people, but I would like to believe that most black people know that Hillary Clinton is not going to do anything in favor of black people, okay? Just like Obama did, okay? These guys have handlers, and they have their constituents who, and I mean, everybody who voted for them is supposed to be a constituent, but it's very obvious in politics that when it comes to constituents, it's the ones with the money who are really considered the constituents of the political representative. So on that note, I got another audio cast that I want to play of Killer Mike dropping the raw and uncut. And so I will play this, and I will be back to read more on Conscious Soldier, Killer Mike. You be the judge. You feel me?
It's to a point where the police officer doesn't respect the civilian, and the civilian don't respect the police officer. So it is always going to be a conflict. Same reason why when most people get pulled over, they're scared.
Yeah, no. That's not true.
Most people are.
That's not true. None of my white friends are scared when we get pulled over. I've gotten pulled over with open containers. Oh, I remember we were being driven around by, the promoters just put somebody on you. We were in D.C. Little white girls driving us around. She did 3 back-to-back U-turns. We were burning in the car. We was like, oh, my God. Like, we finna jump. She said, don't worry, I'm white. And I'm not making this a racial thing, but I'm just saying, no, everybody doesn't panic when police get behind them. Some people pull over and get angry and yell at the cops because they're not accustomed to that. And those people are the people who represent a social class that is known. If you kill them and leave them laying in the middle of the street, somebody got to give some answers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you're talking about the driver, the white driver?
Yeah.
Okay. So you believe in white privilege?
I don't believe in white privilege. I know white privilege exists. And it's okay because I understand. I'm not saying it's okay for it to exist. I understand it exists, and I'm not mad at white people about it.
Yeah, that's my mentality.
But I would challenge more white people to listen to other white people like Tim Weiss. I would challenge more white people to accept. Like, all right, look, I accept that because I'm a big guy, when I get on the elevator, people are going to have to move. Yeah. You know what I mean? People
nobody wants to sit by you on the plane.
Yeah, I can get a seat by myself because nobody really wants to sit by the big guy. You know what I mean? So I have certain privileges that come with being. Everything ain't bad about being a tall, fat guy. But I just want to tell white people out there, like, I don't have no issues with you, but like, be honest, and even in being honest in your convictions, advocate for the people you say you like and love. Oh, I got a black friend. Well, advocate for them.
Right.
You know, when you see something wrong, speak up about it. Because if I don't have people from the power group that are on my side, like that kid who's getting locked up in the mall, then I just become another statistic. And my white friends don't want me to be that, and I don't want them to walk around feeling guilty about white privilege all day.
I'm glad you said that, too, because I always tell people, don't deny white privilege, but don't deny the privileges that you have as a black person either.
I do have some privilege.
Because I feel like we have an inferiority complex when we should have a superiority complex. That's how I was brought up. I was brought up thinking you a god, you a king,
Absolutely.
You can achieve anything you put your mind to.
But guess
that's
what?
how I was brought up.
Even if we aren't, I'm an American, and I'm due my constitutional rights.
Word up.
See, all the other stuff is semantics, man. How I feel about myself, I feel I'm the Asiatic God, man. I'm the ruler of the world. I feel a lot of cool things about myself. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, if I'm a homeless guy, schizophrenic on Skid Row, I am promised by this country and the Bill of Rights and the U.S. Constitution inalienable rights. And all I'm saying is that's what I'm fighting for. That's what I'm advocating for. The shameful part of being an American today is not that police brutality exists. It's not that these separations between the races exist. That's not the shameful part. The shameful part is that none of us are fully living our constitutional rights because we're all protecting our little ones. Like the black people, we got to protect our right never to be in slavery. My white friends, some of them are protecting their Second Amendment rights, which more black people need to wake up to. If we don't all enjoy all our rights, then we all aren't living the full American experience. And I only say this because I travel outside these United States.
Right.
And if you've never traveled outside these United States, you don't know how great a country you in.
Absolutely.
Like my black friends, they be complaining stuff. I say, hey, bro, I hear you. I love you to death. But I got some homies in London. I got homies in Denmark. I got homies in Africa that would love to trade places with you. They would outwork you and you would see success in 5 to 10 years. Now, we come with some systemic stuff. We come with a bunch of trash thrown on us, a bunch of inferiority stuff thrown on us. But all I'm telling you is it doesn't matter. If you're willing to apply yourself and work hard and fight for the same things, we can start to equate this stuff. And at the end of the day, every American is due process, and you are due to have your constitutional rights honored. So stop arguing the race thing and start arguing that.
You got to be careful, Killer Mike, because you know what they'll say. They say you one of them new blacks.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
I don't. You can call me whatever you want to, but I done studied with the Guards and Earths. I done studied with Nation Islam. I done studied with the Moors. I done studied under Marcus Garvey's philosophies, Noble Dur Ali. Like my thing is, if you want to call me new black, you can call me whatever you want to. W.E.B. Du Bois called the Honorable Marcus Garvey a Klan member. And Marcus Garvey said that if it makes my people better, if it makes my people stronger, if it makes us independent of reliance upon government and reliance upon white people, then call me a Klan member indeed.
There you go right there, brother Killer Mike, dropping the raw and uncut on the Breakfast Club. Whoa, man, I love it. I love it. As you said, you heard what he was talking about. We're not enjoying the fullness of our constitutional rights. Why? Because we're being taken advantage of. This is the reason why he advocates on behalf of the voiceless as an activist, speaking against police brutality. You know, in the beginning of my show, that little small snippet of a rap song, that was Killer Mike talking about police brutality. He was talking about how he know the popo want to do something to him. They want to set him up. They want to beat him down. They want to do this. Why? Because he's a rapper. Because he's an outspoken activist that he speaks through his music, and he speaks it whenever he get a chance in the media. You feel me? I mean, Killer Mike has been on the Bill Maher Show. Actually, he's almost like a regular on the Bill Maher Show. He's been on there more than once, dropping the raw and uncut about police brutality, talking about how his father was a retired cop. He knows what it is. He's the son and a child of a father who was a cop, who was a police officer. So he knows what it is to feel like, I'm hoping my dad gonna come home today. But his father took that job, knowing the responsibilities of what he was going to face, what he was going into, and what the responsibility that he had to shoulder as being a peace officer for the public, to be a public servant. These cops are supposed to be public servants. And so Killer Mike is seeing that they're not doing that. They're not being public servants. They more or less they're militarizing the community. They're policing the community through overly excessive force. When you take somebody's life, that's not just excessive. That's overboard. That's overkill. You feel me? And so on that note, speaking of it, I wanted to do, I found this audio, this video. It's going to be an audio for those of you guys can't see it, but you'll be able to hear it, of the young brother of the brother who was killed in Milwaukee. That was the latest. That was, it's like I say, they wait every month or every other month. They want to take out a brother. The popos are doing this, and so I thought it was important to play this audio cast, this young brother voicing his heartfelt emotions over what's going on in Milwaukee, because as a result of the brother who was killed by the police in Milwaukee, not only did they march and protest, but people got to tearing stuff up down there. You feel me? Burning stuff and tearing stuff up. White folks should expect this. Just like, it's not a surprise. I don't believe it's a surprise to any white people. That's what cracks me up, white people, when they, I've talked to some white folks, and white folks, want to say, we shouldn't be killing each other. No. Cops should not be killing people unless they're literally, it's a life-death situation where they have to defend themselves. That's the only means and necessary for a peace officer to kill a civilian. If it's a life-or-death situation, not because they feel, I thought he had a gun, or I felt my life was in danger, or I thought my life. You're supposed to be a paid professional to protect the public. How can you protect the public if you're killing unarmed people who live in the public? So this audio caught my attention, and I want to share it with the conscious community before I go on, because this young brother and the brother who was killed in Milwaukee. This is a prime example that Killer Mike is a voice for the voiceless. You feel me? So this is why he do what he do when stuff like this is continually going on. So check this out.
Complete chaos tonight here on Milwaukee's north side following today's officer-involved shooting, and we're right in the thick of things here at 35th and Burleigh. You can see the O'Reilly Auto Parts store completely engulfed in flames here behind me. Hundreds of people have gathered here tonight to protest that officer-involved shooting. And I'm going to have my photojournalist pan to the right here and give you a look at the crowd that has gathered here. We're on 34th and Fond du Lac, and there are dozens and dozens of people here certainly upset with today's officer-involved shooting. I'm going to bring in a man who is here from the start. This is Sedan Smith, and Sedan tells me he's actually the brother of the victim. He's promised not to use any profanity tonight on live television. Take me through what's going on right now.
Right now, you got a city riot going on because, once again, the police has failed to protect us like they say they was going to do. They failed to be here for the people like they say they sworn in to do. And us as a community, we're not going to protect ourselves. But if we don't have anyone to protect us, then this is what you get. You get riots. You got people out here going crazy. We losing loved ones every day to the people that sworn in to protect us. It's other stuff that's going on out here, and you wonder why it's ISIS in America.
Sedan, certainly people upset here tonight, but we've got, innocent business owners who are now going up in flames. What's it going to take for you guys to be okay tonight and to stop this chaos?
It ain't me. It's not me. I'm going to let y'all know that now. It's not us guys neither. And I'm glad that y'all said that. It's not us. It's the police. This the madness that they spark up. This is what they encourage. This is what they provoke. This is what you get out of you taking a loved one from someone. This is what you get. You get a lot of people that's hurt, and they can't vent the right way. They can't no longer depend on the police to be here to protect us like they say they gonna do. So this is what you get. And no, it's not gonna end today. I can't tell you it's gonna end tomorrow. I don't know when it's gonna end. But it's for y'all to start. We're not the ones that's killing us. Y'all killing us. We can't make a change if y'all don't change. We can't make a change if y'all don't change.
There you go right there. You heard it. You heard the brother, the young brother of the victim that was killed by the killer cop who killed an unarmed brother in Milwaukee. You feel me? And that's his young brother speaking out for him, speaking out for the voiceless. You feel me? This is what Killer Mike does. He's a voice for the voiceless. You feel me? And we don't have enough young brothers out there in the entertainment industry willing to do that because they sold out the green cotton. They sold their soul, sold their mind, sold their bodies, sold everything that they got for green cotton. And as a result, you have very few soldiers out there who are willing to sacrifice as much as they can. To sacrifice as much as they can. Why I say as much as they can? Look, Killer Mike, by him being a voice for the voiceless, you got his money is in jeopardy. His career is in jeopardy. You feel me? He don't know how long it's gonna last. He knows when it comes to this man is in. When you listen to Killer Mike, and I would challenge anybody to go out there and YouTube Killer Mike. You'll see all his interviews right there. A lot, not all, but a lot of them, as much has been uploaded onto YouTube. But you will see that this brother is intelligent. He's smart. He knows what the hell he's talking about when it comes to politics, when it comes to police brutality, when it comes to the Constitution and our civil rights. The brother break it all down. You feel me? And I'm gonna let you hear a little bit. You know, I'm gonna play a little bit in just a minute. He knows that right now he's a star that's shining. He don't know how long it's gonna shine. He's gonna let it shine as much as he can. But what he's gonna let shine is conscious truth. What he's gonna let shine is that black people need to get together. And he talks about in one interview, which I think I'm gonna play right now, where he talks about black people voting and not only just voting, but voting on their local level, which is more important than, or he says just as important as a presidential election, your local politicians, because your local politicians are the ones that allow police brutality to go on. They're the ones that can advocate on the behalf of the community. Local councilmen, local representatives of districts. These are the ones that's supposed to stand for their people in the district in which they represent. So he's saying we need to put people who represent the community in office. It's these fools who are not doing their job, who are covering for corrupt cops. Not only the mayors and the governors who are over the mayors, but also when you get down to your district level council members and your district level representatives who represent those districts. You get to see the corruption. You really get to see the corruption and how them fools run like rats and hide from the media. That's why you see the media having to go out to the street. They can't talk to the district council because they don't want to talk. They don't want to talk about it. They don't, and not only that, they're being told not to talk to them. They're being told, what are you going to do about the excessive police killing in your district? They don't want to talk. They're not talking to the council members and the district representatives that represent their district in each community. Why? Because they hide like rats, because they're rats. They're corrupt rats. So, let me continue with Killer Mike.
Listen, but then when you smack him on the back of his head, he goes and sits.
Yeah, what Dr. King say that riots are the voice of the unheard. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to have riots, start addressing real community issues. Like everybody didn't riot about Michael Brown laying there dead. Some people rioted because they hadn't found jobs in 3 years. Mm-hmm. Some people rioted because the police had just messed with them yesterday. A riot is a tantrum. It's a temper tantrum. Right. It's a child that's been unheard. It's the unrecognized voice of the voiceless. It's people saying, we've been saying this. So I understand how that happens. But my thing is, what happens after that happens? Because if we look at South Africa 20-something years ago, after Nelson Mandela was freed, one of the first things they did was have a Truth and Reconciliations Committee. Mm-hmm. And what was the Truth and Reconciliations Committee? That gave offenders and victims an opportunity to stand before one another and say, this is what I've done. I have murdered this man's family. I would like to sincerely apologize. I would like that truth to be known. Some people did get jail time. Some people didn't. But it was finally put in the air that these atrocities have happened and an opportunity to forgive, to learn, or to move on was really given. Now, I'm not saying South Africa's perfect. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is we're living in a country where truths and reconciliations don't happen. The last step of Kingian nonviolence, I studied Kingian nonviolence when I was in high school. The last step is reconciliation, resolution and reconciliation. Mm-hmm. If I'm not trying to win a fight against the police, mm-hmm. We need the police. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get the police to police better. Right. When I police, the same police that police the community were over police athletic league boxing. When I was young, the same police, when I was young, the same policemen that policed Adamsville were some of the coaches.
Yeah, they ran PAO, absolutely.
That doesn't happen anymore. If you have a group of police who don't identify with the community they're police, if they don't coach basketball, baseball, get out, walk and talk, then that's not a community of police. That's a community under siege.
Always look to Barack. Barack's the president. What about the local government? What about your mayor? What about the governor of the state? Well, it should go through them before it gets to Barack.
Well, in this case, it's been shown statistically that blacks are targeted. Mm-hmm. Blacks are targeted more. If your police chief has shown himself to be corrupt from the beginning by not naming the officer, by then leaking some bogus tape of a kid shoplifting, you show me 10 kids, I'll show you 7 kids that probably shoplifted. The police chief is a direct reflection of the mayor's office, because that's who appoints your police chief. I would say this whole sham's corrupt too, and I would go directly to federal. When Martin Luther King and John Lewis and Andy Young and Hosea Williams were marching, they weren't marching just to challenge local municipalities to change. They were getting local municipalities to show that they were abusive so the feds would intervene.
Absolutely.
So people are calling to Barack Obama, some out of ignorance because they don't know that there are other steps, but the smart people that are there, the people that have organized before, understand that I am potentially dealing with a corruption that has corrupted the police chief, the prosecutor, and the mayor. So I need to circumvent that and go directly to the federal leg of our government, because things seem to get fair. Like black people have your rights today, because at some point Lyndon B. Johnson, who was the president, said, we got to intervene. This is getting bad.
Absolutely.
So I understand why you call for Barack Obama, but with that said, your president is still the president. He's still a federal employee. You do need to be vigilant. And this is why I always tell people, vote in your local elections. Your local elections are more important than any other presidential election that'll ever be in your life, because the local people are the people who direct you. I was trying to get in the West End and literally just got told no. Like, we don't want no more barbershops. And I'm like, well, this is different. It's a swag shop. Shea Washington Grooming. We sell stuff. It's different. Celebrities come through. I had to get on the phone with a city councilman who put me in touch with the landlords, and everything changed in 24 hours.
Wow.
When I get home, I go look at 2 new buildings, see which building you want. We'll potentially sell you this building. But it's only because I know who my city councilman is.
But, Killer Mike, conscious soldier for his people. And this is, that's the way I see him. You be the judge, though, but I see the brother as a strong, intelligent, conscious soldier. You feel me? As he had, he talked about his barbershop. He's a businessman, and he says, Killer Mike. He opened his barbershop in Atlanta, Georgia, with his wife, Shauna Render, on November 1st, 2011. The two acquired and reworked a barber and named it Graffiti Swag. They reworked the barbershop and named it Graffiti Swag. Shave, wash, and groom. He had waited 9 years before choosing to open up the barbershop. After having an early business manager advise him against the plan, it took his wife advising him to do it. Now while he had the time and money to pursue his lifelong dream. He eventually plans to open 150 shops across the United States over time, predominantly in cities with large black communities. I got love for the brother. The barbershop is decorated with artwork on the walls honoring historic black leaders like Martin Luther King. Mike said that he hopes to lift up men in the community who are out of work and help move them towards sustainable lifelong careers and give his employees opportunity for real economic elevation. As of 2012, the shop employs 6 barbers with plans to add 4 to 6 more licensed barbers to the team. Mike also said that he hoped to pursue his own barber license in the winter of 2012. The enterprise has been successful, and the shop has become a gathering place for the community, in addition to hosting events such as a season premiere for the Boondocks and serving as the setting for several music videos. A second location in Tampa, Florida was planned for 2014. I got nothing but love for the brother, man. I mean, just reading this makes me excited to hear that a black man with black business employing black people with not just the purpose of employment, but also educating his people. Man, nothing but love for that brother. Conscious soldier. He is a conscious soldier. You can't deny that brother that. You feel me? I mean, I was just reading on his business aspect. I got an article here on his political as well as his activism. I've read a little bit, and you guys know a little bit about his activism. So I don't think I have to go into that. But the audio cast that I've been playing speaks to that. Like I said, that his act showing that the brother is trying to politically also educate his people. You feel me? Letting them know that, look, we want to change things in our community. We got to deal with these local puppets. Because if we don't deal with these local puppets, what's going to happen is, and what is happening, is that those with the money, you feel me, are the ones that's pulling the strings. You feel me? And the reason why I'm calling these fools puppets is because that's exactly what politicians have been doing for decades in this country and are still doing even more so. Even the ones who go in there with the image that they represent the community, which Barack Obama did. Barack Obama didn't just win by being an intelligent articulator and an educated black man, but he went in there also in the beginning when he was running for president, and even before he ran for president, when he was running for his Senate seat in Chicago, he went on the fact that he was a public servant, that he was a community grassroots organizer before he became a senator, that he represented the people. This is what he was doing when he was running for president and before he ran for president, when he was running for his Senate seat in Chicago. I followed it. You can go follow it yourself and you can find out for yourself. This is what this house Negro was doing. But when he became president, what did he do? He ain't did nothing for black people. No, he's did something for the people of America, but he's done nothing in particular or in specific for black people who are disadvantaged. Oh, he's sent some program called for African Youth, basically a program that gives money to nonprofit organizations that's supposed to benefit the youth, but some of these organizations are organizations who have their own agenda, like the LBG community, which I got nothing wrong with that. They got some that represent them, but don't be taken from something that's supposed to help the black community. But if you actually go read his so-called young artist or young whatever program, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's a program that basically help kids who don't really need the help, who are already helping themselves. It's not a program that's actually reaching down to the gutters of the ghettos of young people in the community who want a lift out. He ain't doing nothing for the black community. He's a puppet for the elite, Barack Obama. And Mrs. Clinton is no different. No different. She was a puppet long before she got into politics. She wasn't a puppet. She was just a rich girl. So she ain't from the gutter. She don't know nothing. She ain't been down in the gutter. She ain't been to the ghetto. She ain't doing nothing for nobody black in the communities, but probably reaching out only to those who don't need the help. So on that note, before my show is over, which is almost over anyway, let me play a little bit of Killer Mike's off his album, the 2012 album called R.A.P. I want to play this before my show is over, and then, I'll have to end my show and come back another Sunday, and hopefully I can tighten up my security on my show and on my end to have a more clean show without pinging interference. I've been pinged. I've been shut out by Google. The Google representative, Google team over there have shut me down for 2 weeks. For obviously somebody's complaining about my conscious vocal. The fact that I'm vocal and the fact that I represent, you feel me, who I am as a black Native American, you feel me? So not just a black man, I'm a black Native American man, you feel me? So on that note, let me play this right here, and I will be back and to end on this note, you feel me?
You are witnessing elegance in the form of a black elephant, smoking white rhino on terraces. Will I die slain like my king by a terrorist? Will my woman be Coretta, take my name and cherish it? Or will she Jackie O, drop the Kennedy, remarry it? My sister say it's necessary on some Cleopatra shit. My grandmama said nope, never, that is sacrilege. Tend to agree because the thought is so disparaging. The Lord give a load, you got to carry it like Mary did. That's why I'm giving honor to all these baby mamas. It takes a woman's womb to make a Christ a Dalai Lama. The world might take that child, turn that child into a monster. The Lord take a monster and fashion him a saint. I present you Malcolm X, the dose of saying that he can't, saying that he won't, when I know he will. You usually don't know it's you until you getting killed. For real.
There you go. You heard it. That's just a little piece I want to play. I can't play much because, my show is ending. But I'm playing a little bit right here. That's off his self-titled album, R.A.P., which is an acronym for Rebellious African People. That's what the name of the album is titled, R.A.P. RAP, which is an acronym for Rebellious African People. So and I know I represent the Native community. That's what that's who I am. That's my identity. That's my ethnicity. I'm a Black Native American. I don't really advocate that I'm African, because I'm not African and I'm not from Africa. But a lot of Black people in America do, and I don't put Black folks down. I don't agree with them, because, unless you can tell me that you got family in Africa and you know who that family is, you know who your great auntie or your great uncle or your cousins are in Africa, and they've come over here and visited you, and you visited over there to them, and you know for a fact that's your family. If you can't tell me you know anybody in your family from Africa, then you can't say you're African. This is the big misnomer and confusion and backwardness in America. We know most Black people know they got Native American in their family. The tradition is strong in the Black family in the U.S., in the ghettos, in the community, in the poorest of the poor, and even in the richest of the rich, that Black people know they got Native American connections to the Native American community. But the first thing, because of the brainwashing here in the U.S., because of the continued propaganda of Black people being African, being told that that's who we are, through the school system, through the media, through the public, and just in general, in books, that this Black people have accepted this ideology of misidentifying themselves because of what they don't know, because they're being told what they're supposed to know, which is a lie. So, I don't fault Brother Mike for that. Labeling his actually kind of sounds good, even though I don't agree with it, but the flow, rap, Rebellious African People. So, but the brother, for the most part, 90% of what he represents, I have to agree with. And on the social activist level, on the political level, I get a brother number, props. He's a conscious soldier for the people here in the U.S. He's the voice of the voiceless. You feel me? He's a voice for the voiceless. You feel me? So got nothing but love and respect for that brother on that note. But I gotta go. And also that cut that I just got through playing by Killer Mike is called Untitled, and it's the track on the album. But so on that note, I gotta go. I will be back. I will be black. I ask everybody to forgive me for my podcast not being a very perfect podcast to this Delicious Black Sunday due to being pinged. I don't know how many times, just throwing off, bringing static into the vocal part of my show, and also connecting me and reconnecting me. I'm having connection issues as a result of being pinged. I've done with this in the past and strengthened my security, and now I'm having issues again. So I'm going to have to deal with my sponsors on that level, because they hit me through my my online studio broadcast, which is through my show. I'm being hit, so I will try to make sure that's strengthened. So by next week, I'll have a better signal and a better show, more clean, more professional. You feel me? Won't be having all these interruptions that I'm dealing with right now. But as it stands right now, I hope my conscious community agree with me that Killer Mike, aka Michael Render, the brother is a conscious soldier for his people. You feel me? That's my decision on the judgment of the brother. I got number love and respect for the brother. You feel me? I hope you guys have the same, and go check out his music. His last solo LP, as I said, was 2012, titled R.A.P. But his new stuff is he has a group, him and a white brother rapping, titled Run the Jewels. So you can go pull that up on YouTube as well and check out the videos. Check out Killer Mike. You feel me? The brother's a very intelligent, strong black man. Got nothing but love and respect for the brother. So I'm gonna end my show with his song on his self-titled album, R.A.P., a song titled "Don't Die," which is the song I started out the show with. You feel me? With all the pings I was getting. So I'm gonna start it out with. I'm gonna end my show on that note with Killer Mike's titled rap song called "Don't Die." Very strong song that's talking about police brutality. You feel me? And what the black woman and black man have to deal with in this country, in the most darkest urban ghetto gutter parts of this country on a daily basis. You feel me? And much love. Love all my people. My last words is, may the great mother bring us together under the wings of her love and protection. And as always, I love chicken, so love, peace, and chicken grease. I gotta go. You feel me? Be back next Black's Delicious Sunday. Peace and love.
Real bad guy shit. Living like a villain, never chilling. Heavy influence on your chilling. Yeah, I woke up this morning to a cop with a gun who told me that he looking for a nigga on the run. I thought for a second and I screwed my face and asked some dirty pigs, why the fuck you in my place? They said chill or we kill, this is a warning. Then I told them fuck you, where is the warrant? Then they got the punching and kicking and macing. Then the whole situation went Larry Davis. Thinking about my lady and thinking about my baby. Thinking these motherfucking pigs going crazy. They wanna kill a nigga cause a nigga on this rap shit. Wanna leave me dead on the mattress, Hampton. I'm a public enemy because I cold rampant. And I don't give a fuck about a party in the Hamptons. And I don't give a fuck about a motherfucking Forbes list. As far as I'm concerned, that's a motherfucking whores list. Motherfucker, my dad was a cop. You don't think I know a dirty ass cop when I see one? Shake down, take down, disrespecting the badge ass bitch. Back to the scene, going wild in the bedroom. Grab the cop's gun, left him leaking with a head wound. Second cop shot, but the bullet hit his partner. Shot him in the leg and he hit a main artery. Reading at a dirty cop's looking at me. Talking about he kill a nigga if I try to flee shit. I'm about to lose it, so he gon' have to prove it. All cause the government hate rap music. I've been labeled outlaw, renegade villain. So was Martin King, so the system had to kill him. A nigga with an attitude, the world gotta feel him. Educated villain, intent on living. If I gotta kill a copper just to make it out of villain, that motherfucker get left dead, no feelings. Yelling fuck him as I buck a 45 at his feelings. Trying to knock his brain through the motherfucking ceiling.
Hey bro, I'm in some trouble, okay? I gotta be gone for a minute. Just call my old man. It's real deep shit, man. It's fucked up. I shot a cop.
When I surface on the streets, I